Good morning. I'm Pastor Joe Biasong ng OFW Family Christian Ministry and from Seminole to these areas. My question is this. Ang OFW, when they, after the PIDOS, PIDOS, there are monks that are doing the PIDOS sa kanila. They're so excited to be a member in any program ng bangko. After that excitement, pag-alis, wala na. So, ang problem ngayon, gusto ng OFW, they wanted to be in this program, but most domestic workers are not receiving personal money from the worker, from the employer. Kalimitan, direktang pinapadala. So, if we can arrange a program na from agency, you mentioned, sir, kanina na kasabay ng contract, isasabay na. How can we do that? I think yun yung aking concern. Para matiyak natin that OFW will have that program na para sa kanila. Kasi hindi gusto nila but hindi nila magawa. Kasi yung sweldo nila ay hindi naman nila hindi nila natatanggap direct na. Pangalawa, natatanggap nila pero hindi naman pwedeng lumabas or I think you have that solution kung paano.
Anyone from Sunlight?
Sir, that's a very good insight. Totoo po yan. Kaya po itong programa or itong product na to is just the first step. Ang second step po namin is to partner with an organized OFW institution para matugunan. Ito po yung mga linkages namin. And yung third step po, tama po yung sinabi niya, to partner with those na nag-deploy, mga agency, to let them know. Kaya po yung education, yung literacy doesn't just go or addresses the families, but even the institutions that providing service to them. So maganda po yung pagkakataon na tingnan din po natin kung ngayon may programa na tayo, may produkto na tayo, ano naman po yung mga facilities para makuha nila ng mas maayos. And we get a lot of insights from that as well. Kaya po, nasisimula yung payment facility. Yung iba po may nagsuggest na para ba naka-deduction sa mga remittances nila. So those are programs na maganda po pag-usapan moving forward.
Maybe also, Ma'am Estelle or Sir Luther, how do these concerns factor into your future programs or policies, especially when it comes to your partnerships?
On our end naman po, I think what we're really doing at the Ople Center, which I hope nararamdaman po ng aming mga partners, and Pastor, feel free to also approach us. What I really want us to do is to listen to the OFWs themselves. Kasi ang hirap din po that we're coming up with programs, pero yan, yung katulad po ng concern nyo, hindi na fa-factor in. So, one of the things that we've been doing is we've been doing a lot more dialogue with OFWs, organized groups, andito po yung iba sa inyo, and also with government. So, government and private sector as well. So, yung mga ganyan pong concerns, I hope you continue to voice that out, all of those suggestions, to make sure that nabibring up din challenge with any of the partners of the Ople Center, whether private or government.
Do you want to add anything, Sir Luther?
Thank you, Pastor. Sa tanong niyan, napakahalaga ang linkages ng NGOs like us who are advocating for OFWs, linkages with government agencies and the private sector. Ang actually role ng Ople Center is really to link the private sector and the government and us from the NGOs, because we become the tulay between the policymakers, which is the government, and the ones asking, which is the private sector. And of course, behind that is the ultimate beneficiaries, which is the OFWs. So, role now is really to develop that strong linkage between the government and the private sector. And here we are standing for the welfare of the OFWs.
Maraming salamat po. Siguro,
Go ahead, sir.
sa seafarer, wala tayong masyadong problema kasi may direct pang sila pag-alis pa lang. But the problem is yung land base natin na totally nasa kanila na ang control. Kaya lang wala silang, hindi na alam kung paano gagawin. I think we have to sit down with the agency also, land base, to facilitate kung paano na gagawin para may ATM na rin sila paglabas, ipapacilitate ng agency para the same, para paghulog nila o pag-remit nila, automatic papasok na doon sa inyo sa programa for OFW.
Alright. Again, do you have anything to add?
Just to add to that, sir, don't worry, yung suggestion niya is a very good suggestion. We do have some upcoming events also with our agency partners. So we'll see if there's anything that can be done about that.
Maraming salamat.
Thank you so much.
It's a good thing that they get to voice out these concerns, especially since we're talking about a continuously evolving program, especially since yung concern na namang na OFWs nagbabago din throughout the years, alright? Okay, so I believe we still have one more question. We have a late, okay, sir, go ahead.
Hi, Rafi Ayan from the Daily Tribune, a business reporter of the Daily Tribune. Sir, for the record, how many Sun Life insured OFWs na po ang on board? And for those na ayaw pong mag-avail ng insurance, what are their usual reasons? Or being skeptical or hesitant ng pagkuha ng insurance?
Sa kaiikot po namin, sir, kadalasan wala sa budget. Okay, wala sa priority. Okay, so yun nga nakikita natin. Even if you look at the remittance spending, kung saan napupunta yung mga remittance na banggit kanina na kung magkano na every year. A big chunk of those remittances are spent on food and domestic expenditures. Pag tinignan po ninyo yung mga pag-aaral, nasa laylayan po yung health, yung retirement at savings. So nandun po, kaya po matibay kami sa paniniwala ng financial literacy. No? So maliit pa po porsyento, we have a lot of work to be done pa po pagdating dito.
Scarlett?
Yeah, just wanted to add on your first question. So sa Sun Life po, meron po kaming 1.7 million clients. Dun sa 1.7 million na yun, kakaunti pa lang po talaga ang overseas Filipino workers na insured sa amin. Kaya po isa pong oportunidad po ito talaga, itong mga ganitong classic programa na tutulong sa mga OFWs to learn more about financial planning. And to give you exact numbers, we have around less than 200,000 overseas Filipinos as Sun Life clients. Now, that doesn't mean na hindi po natatapos yung mission namin. In fact, yan nga po yung nagiging mas fighting yung aming kagustuhan na mas marami po tayong mga kababayan na nagtatrabaho abroad na maging covered at talaga pong napagplanuhan ng kanilang future. Now, having said that, sir, kanina na-mention po ito ni Pastor, at uulit-ulitin ko po, kailangan din po talaga na yung mga miyembro ng pamilya ng OFW ay alam also kung ano yung pinagpaplanuhan ng OFW. Kagaya na lang po kanina na nasabi, pag dumating ang remittance, kadalasan, instead po na napupunta sa savings yung iba, mas nagagastos sa mga hindi naman masyadong essential na pangangailangan. And so, dito din po kami tumatawag at tumudulog sa mga taga-media to help us actually spread the word about financial literacy. And so, dito din po kami, kaya patuloy din po yung aming pagdulog din sa aming mga partners katulad ng Glass Ople Policy Center kasi kaakibay po namin sila sa pag-i-ensure na mga OFWs po ay protected.
Alright, do you have a follow-up question, sir?
Follow-up lang. Yung age range naman, ma'am. Who are those OFWs na on board sa Sun Life? Mas marami ba yung pamilyado or mas marami yung mga single?
Actually, sir, ito po yung nakakatuwa din na development kasi po yung mga overseas Filipinos na insured sa Sun Life, karamihan po medyo bata-bata. So for us, it's promising kasi ibig sabihin, nakikita nila yung kahalagahan ng pagpaplano para sa future. Sabi nga kanina ni Estelle kanina, mas maganda na habang nagtatrabaho pa sila sa abroad, meron na silang naiisip sa utak nila na kailangan nilang mag-prepare pag mag-retire sila sa Pilipinas. And so, ang gusto po ni Sun Life ay simulan sila habang mas maaga. Kasi ito po yung habang unang pagsampa, naiisip na nila kagad na kung ano yung kinikita nila abroad, matatabi na nila para sa kanilang future na pamilya.
Alright, thank you very much. I guess we have room for one more question. Go ahead.